Hi, welcome to Burning Cereal. My name's Kirsten, and today I'm going to be making beef stroganoff. It's a really great comfort food. My family loves it. I love it because I can come home from work, get it done in less than 45 minutes. Very quick, very simple. So let's go ahead and get started, but before we do, let's start with having a glass of wine, because how can you cook without wine? So the ingredients you're going to need for beef stroganoff is, of course, your steak. Today I've chosen to use a New York strip. You're also going to need a jar of beef gravy, some olive oil, some mushrooms, white mushrooms, salt, pepper, dried thyme, a white onion, a garlic clove, and some sour cream. And I like to serve the beef stroganoff with the extra wide egg noodles. You can use white rice if you like, but I like the egg noodles. The first thing we're going to do is trim the fat off our steak. It's okay to leave a little bit of fat, but obviously this one's got a lot of fat here on the edges, so we're just going to trim off this big chunk of fat. Again, a little bit of marbling is okay. You just want to take the majority of the excess fat off. And now we're gonna slice our steak into thin strips, maybe about 1/4 inch thick. And again, I'm using New York. I typically use top sirloin for this recipe, but I was at Costco and saw these New York steaks and thought I'd give it a try. And you're gonna wanna use about 1 pound of the steak. So we're gonna put our burner on medium-high heat, let it get hot, and we're gonna use 3 tablespoons of olive oil. We want that olive oil to get nice and hot before we add our steak. Now our olive oil is nice and hot, and we're gonna start adding our beef steak. And I'm gonna do it in 2 batches. So each piece has a chance to brown a little bit. I am a medium rare steak person, so I'm going to cook this to about medium rare. And keep in mind, it's going to go back into the skillet when everything else is added, so it still will cook a little more. If you need your steak or beef well done, because it freaks you out, go ahead and cook the meat till it's all the way thoroughly brown, but I think just a quick browning on each side real quick, still leaving it pink, works out the best. So I finished browning my second batch of beef. Again, you can see there's still redness in there, and that's okay. I personally think steak is meant to be eaten medium rare. Well done steak is dry and chewy, but that's completely up to you. If you want to cook it all the way well done, that's fine. Now you're going to leave the pan on because we're going to add the onion and mushroom next. After we've taken the steak out, we're going to add another tablespoon of olive oil. Our onion. I sliced my onion this time. In the recipe it says chopped onion. My husband actually doesn't like onion, so when I make this recipe I don't use onion, I just use the garlic. But for your guys' sake, I wanted to show you the real recipe, and I thought if I used the sliced onion it would be easier to pull out. For my husband to pick out the big chunks of onion so we can have dinner tonight. So onion first, then we're gonna add our white mushroom sliced. I buy them pre-sliced, I kind of cheat. That's my timer for my egg noodles. I've got my egg noodles boiling in the meantime. Oops, lost one. Lots of onion over the side. Okay. We're gonna let those saute for a little bit, and then we're gonna add some spices. So as far as the salt and pepper, I'm just gonna season to taste. Sprinkle of salt, some black pepper. I'd have to say maybe a half teaspoon of each if you really need to have the exact measurements. I just kind of go by feel. Mix it up a little bit. Now this is the secret special ingredient that makes it taste so yummy, is the thyme leaves, which I personally love. I use it in my green beans too. It makes really good extra spice to the green beans. Mix that up a little bit. And I don't add my garlic clove till these are pretty much sauteed, because you don't want to burn your garlic. If the garlic stays in the pan too long and too high of a heat, it burns, and then you just lose the flavor. So these are sauteing pretty good. I'm gonna wait a little longer before I add the garlic clove. The onions and mushrooms have been cooking on medium heat for about 5 minutes, and now I'm going to add the garlic. I have this handy dandy garlic press that I can't live without. Just pop the garlic clove in there with skin and all, and then you just press it. And voila! No mess, no fuss. And now we're ready to add our beef gravy. That, yes, it is from a jar. You can use a canned gravy. That might be considered cheating. I don't care. I don't have time to make this from complete scratch. But I still say this is better than your family eating a frozen pizza or hamburger and french fries from a takeout place. So all my recipes are pretty much going to be like this. Semi-homemade. Stir the gravy in. Now you're going to turn up the heat again to a medium-high, and you're going to want to let this get to a nice boil. So now that the mixture has come to a boil, we're going to turn the heat to low, and we're going to add our sour cream. I do it in small batches, a little bit at a time. The recipe calls for 1 cup, depending how much you like sour cream and how light you want it. You can use your own discretion. Maybe you only want to use a half cup, which is perfectly fine. Again, I kind of go by feel. Really all it's like is just bring the meat back in and heat through. I'm going to put all the meat with the juices in there. Smell is really great. I wish you could smell it. You can smell the thyme and the garlic. It smells really yummy. Just kind of mix the meat all the way in. And then what I would do is I would keep, you can just heat this for about 5 minutes and serve. It would be fine. Or if you're not ready to serve it right away, just leave it on low and cover it, and it should be good to go. Excuse my non-functional cover. It doesn't actually match this pan, but it's what I have that's big enough. So again, just leave it covered till you're ready to serve it on low. So here we have our egg noodles, and I'm going to spoon the beef stroganoff right over the top. Again, if you prefer white rice, that's also a good idea for beef stroganoff, but I think the egg noodles makes it taste really yummy. So I cannot wait to go ahead and taste this. It looks great. So we're all done. That was less than 45 minutes, really easy. Looks so yummy. The steak looks delicious. Gonna get a little steak, piece of mushroom, noodle. The steak's really tender. Again, that's why I like to cook it medium rare. And I think the egg noodle is a really good combination kind of sops up that gravy. I think it turned out really well. So I'm gonna have my glass of wine and enjoy my dinner. And cheers, and thanks for joining us. See you next time. Bye. And easy, and I think this, it's a very warm, comforting food. Oh, fuck. Okay. This recipe really is. Oh, shit. There you go. Oh. Oops, I shouldn't have done that.